Hey guys, this is Bowie Madhu with the Chill Code Revenue Scaling Blueprint. So I want you really to focus in on this opportunity for you to discover the surprising four-step process that coaches, consultants, and subject matter experts have turned to for scaling their practice into a five-figure a month business. And this can be done in less than 30 days. So the first thing that's important, like anything else, is really deciding if this is worth your time and attention. Since you've come this far, let's look at the criteria of determining whether or not you should continue viewing this and if this is for you. So if you've seen fellow coaches or consultants or subject matter experts in your niche outperforming you, and you feel naturally that you can do the same or better than them, right? Then this is for you. If you're a coach or a consultant or subject matter expert that knows there's a demand for your services and you'd like to charge more without losing current clients or turning future prospects away or off, then I definitely would suggest and invite you to continue viewing. The other thing also is, if you're a coach or consultant or subject matter expert with existing clients or an existing practice and you feel you're ready to scale to a 5 or a 6-figure a month business but need help with doing it, then definitely you're going to get some things that are relevant if you're in that particular situation. And if you're overwhelmed by the technical requirements you need to virtualize or automate or scale your program as is, definitely continue to watch. You'll see how we do that as well. And if you want to attract better clients in your pipeline or business who happily chase you down to pay you more, definitely, I don't know about you, but I would just want to know that by itself, right? Even if I just stumbled upon this. Now, if you're tired of the headaches of working with difficult or cheap clients that don't appreciate you, and you'd like help with exchanging them for better clients, I definitely would highly recommend you continue watching. So now that we are clear on whether or not you're the right person viewing this, let's ask, how did you get here? So chances are you saw an ad on Facebook, and this is really indicative of what your client or what your approach may be and likely will be, right? If you choose or recognize that this is an opportunity for us to work together. So how did you get here? And the thing I want to focus on is that what happened was that you saw these ads, right? And the next thing that you did was read a 842 word ad, and then you opted in to watch what was on the other side, which is this webinar that you're looking at right now. Now, that process of looking or taking the time, given how precious time is these days, taking the time to read an 842 word ad is something that actually pre-qualifies you, right? And in my opinion, I think that's impressive, all right? And it tells me a lot about how intentional you are. Now, there's two types of people that would have made it this far. One is like the super nosy, you have nothing better to do with your life, right, than just to opt into funnels or opportunities to learn something and grab a nugget there. I get it. I've been there, right? Or you actually are very intentional and you want to know what it is that can make a difference for you inside of your coaching or consulting or subject matter expertise practice, right? So let's take a look at what where you're headed and where this is all headed, right? So you saw an ad and then you opted in to learn more. And I just want you to pay attention at the numbers to the right. See, there's about an audience that was marketed to, right? That's like in the possibility pool that would have seen the ad that you saw, right? And then following that, that would have opted in. So based on the phase or when you're seeing this, there's about 150 plus or minus people who are going to opt in, which are categorically leads, right? Now, over time, that number will grow, but let's just say for now it's about 150. And what happens now is what you're doing, where you are watching a webinar, right? And the question mark as far as viewers is how many people, maybe even by now, are turned off and turned away, right? Which is fine, okay? And what's going to happen by the time you get to the end of this is you're either going to leave, and you're also going to try to do this on your own, depending for some of you, right? But there's a certain number of you that are going to actually apply to participate in this program, right? And those are what I qualify as the winners. And those winners come down to about 2 or 3 people. 2%. Okay, about 2% of everyone here. Okay? So if you really look at your chances of getting this right, or your chances of having this work for you, you're only going to be about 2 or 3 people, a handful of people. Again, like I mentioned, in proportion to where we are right now as you're watching this. So what's the big deal about this? Well, you want to congratulate yourself, or at least if you end up in that bottom sort of section where you're a winner, or, you know, categorically for me, those are the people who are the winners, right? They're the people who are going to take action and apply this, right? They're in enough pain to do something about it. Those are people that I definitely appreciate. But the thing I want you to know is I can't help everyone, and I don't help everyone. And this is something that you will find different than the average guru and so on and so forth. And I'm not claiming that I am. I'm just saying, as far as what you see online, everybody wants to help everyone. I can't help everyone, right? Some people, yeah, as graphic or as sort of visceral as this is, some people are drowning in the noise that's out there online. And like I said, I can only help 2 or 3 people, right, out of that 150. And those are just the stats. Those are just the numbers that I've assessed so far. Now, over time, that number will grow, but the percentage still stays the same. So you're going to discover the key to your success, right? And it's, of course, tucked away behind these question marks. And if you stick around, of course, to the end of this, this will be worth your time and your attention. So first, let's just get clear. Who am I and why listen? I'm, the gentleman here on the right. I'm Bowie Madu. I'm a digital marketing strategist and specialist for almost 10 years. I'm the author of a self-actualization book called Hero Humanity, 24 Hours to a Heroic Life. I'm also the creator of the lifestyle management approach known as the 24-Hour Blueprint Method. Now, the thing about this is I've guest lectured on that subject matter. So I'm a subject matter expert, right? Now, this is something that I designed, I created, I developed, and naturally became a subject matter expert on my own product, on my own content. But it's relevant, right, to a particular audience. So that being said, I got my BS in civil engineering, master's in urban planning, and I've guest lectured on the subject matter that I just mentioned to you, right? And so prior to getting into digital marketing, that was my life, right, as a civil engineer and an urban planner. But the impact, right, of sort of going down that path over time was I got a chance to lecture, right, at the State University of New York at Buffalo, helping science, technology, engineering, and mathematics students achieve some greater academic success based on my particular model of lifestyle design. I also work with the University of Illinois at Chicago Business School and some joint venture partnerships with some nonprofit consulting, right? And fast forward, years of doing that on and off led me to being able to present at the World Conference of Online Learning, Teaching in a Digital Age. And there's yours truly right there, representing in a particular track known as New Delivery Tools and Resources for Learning, in a category for bettering education through technology, right? So not bad, but that's just a little bit about me and, the relevant significance of maybe why you should listen. But all of that doesn't mean jack squat, in my opinion, because what you really want to know is what I've done, right? Relevant to what your pain point is. So I just coached a millionaire to scale his coaching business to a 5 figures a month business model in just 30 days during the pandemic. Okay? Now, do I still have your attention? And if I do, I want to tell you a little backstory. See, things weren't always this sort of great for me, right? About 10 years ago, I wanted to end my life, and that was it. All right. And I remember when my life comprised of being a anxious, confused, and angry engineer and urban planner who had job after job after job. Before I even graduated school, I work with all these departments, all these organizations, right? Thinking I was headed somewhere, thinking I was headed somewhere, thinking I was headed somewhere, right? And then life happens, father dies, back, over this 10-year span, these are all the companies that I'd work with as an undergraduate to a graduate student, really thinking I was moving in a particular direction in my own journey, right? Now, the significance of this is that all these aspects of my life tells you that, like, I'm not here like bullshitting you and telling you like, oh, my life has just been great, right? Got married and then got divorced, and that was my life. And now you understand why I was at that damn bridge, right? Life was not always this sort of like rah-rah sis boom ba experience. And I like to show you a little bit of the dirt behind my life, so you know I'm a real person. So after I gone through all of that, I got to a bridge because I was just exhausted by life, of trying to make it, of trying to be something and show up in life, and just feeling like I wasn't cutting it, right? I was just burnt out. I was done. I was burnt out trying to live a normal life, right? And that's probably where you may be or have been, depending on whether or not you consult one-on-one with people, right? Or you stepped into this, or maybe you do it for a corporation, or you're on a sales team, right? But like for me, where I found myself today is a function of like just a past life that I just got burnt out living, right? And I decided that I was going to do something different. At a turning point for me, I checked myself in after I left that. I got to this one particular bridge, and the only reason why I didn't drown myself that night was because the water was too shallow, right? So I ended up checking myself into a hotel. At that time, I lived in Northwest Indiana. I checked myself into a hotel, and after that, I came to some conclusions. As I spent time in that hotel room, I spent time there for 3 days with no food, no water. I faced my damn demons. I came out swinging to live a life of love, generosity, acceptance, and service to humanity. This is who I am, and this is who you're listening to, right? And there's nothing for me to hide about that. And so now, Life Sense, what you should know is, yep, as I mentioned, it's my book there that I've written. I've lectured on the book. I've been invited to be a commencement speaker, produced the audiobook, produced the lifestyle design management system, playbooks, planners, an online academy to follow it, and so on and so forth, right? So no bullshit here. I'm as the real deal with respect to my own content and subject matter as I can find, okay? All of that doesn't mean anything, because what really matters is as I share with you, really my favorite news story, right? And here's what it is. My favorite news story has been coaching a multimillionaire to scale one of his coaching business practices to a 5 figures a month model in just 30 days, right? And if you finish and stick around, you will be rewarded with an opportunity for you to determine whether or not you're going to be part of that elite 2 or 3 people, right, who has an opportunity to work and get the job done and move in the direction that you want to move in that got your attention. So there's a grand finale to all of this. So my promise to you, and what you'll learn over the next few moments here together, is you're going to learn how having competitive prices can hurt your business and your customers, right? And may already be hurting them. You're going to also learn the #1 customer acquisition mistake that's probably robbing you of thousands of dollars per customer. You're going to learn the 4-step proprietary process that can double or even triple your monthly revenue in 15 to 20 minutes or less. I'll also teach you, in which you'll learn, the 1-page worksheet that replaces years of fear, stress, and worry with hope, excitement, and a future of consistent revenue in your business. And you're also going to learn why your best customers, right, want higher prices and how to respond to their demands. I think it's time for us to just end the drudgery of annoying clients, right? So if that's you and you're tired of just, settling for the clients that you're working with, you've come to the right place. And I think it's time for us to celebrate, get excited and get free from the worry and anxiety of working with those kind of clients. And also, of course, allow ourselves to have the peace of mind that comes with that. But to get this done, you're going to need to be clear, focused, with certainty daily, right? To get the job done over these next 30 days if you choose to move ahead. So, in the end, of course, I want you to be happy with the quality of clients that you get and really be happy to show up, right? For them, for yourself on a daily basis and not be stressed out about it. So if you've ever thought, let me ask you this, have you thought these things that I'm about to share with you? Have you thought that if my prices are competitive enough compared to other coaches, I'd probably attract clients just like they do, right? You ever thought that? You ever thought, I'd be the no-brainer choice for potential clients since I am better than the competition and cheaper, right? How about this thought? The more clients I could get to work with me, the better my business would be. You ever thought those thoughts? Or, I'd be happier when I have more clients, the best price, and fill my calendar with back-to-back coaching appointments. You ever had those thoughts? Right? How is that working for you? Right? Like, genuinely, how are those thoughts really working for you? Are they serving you? Are they empowering you? Chances are, no. And I would say and share with you, with all the compassion in my heart, don't judge yourself for having those thoughts, even though they have not served you well. And it's not your fault that those were the thoughts that you had. See, the real problem is that the old way of thinking, planning, running a coaching or consulting business is a dying model, and it's also an unsustainable model, right? And the real problem is that we've been miseducated to believe that the way offline practices work should work online too. And they don't work and scale the same way. I'm just here to tell you that. Now, you've likely been told things like, keep your prices competitive or clients will find someone else with a better price, right? You ever heard some craziness like that? Or the more clients you can close, the better off your business will be, right? You've heard stuff like that. And also, you've likely been told, do whatever you need to do to make your client happy so they'll keep coming back. Or if you raise your prices, your customers will leave, right? Well, let's get into, I call bullshit on all of that. And I'm going to jump right into the secret, number one, of how competitive prices can hurt your business and your customers, right? Because everything you just heard and all these things, all that advice, it's not, at this point, it's nonsense. If it works for you, fantastic, or has been, great, right? But you're on here right now because you want to go to the next level, right? It hasn't worked for you enough. All right, so let's get right into how these competitive prices are hurting. Well, first lie that's being told is competitive prices attracts more clients, therefore that's good for business, right? But here's the reality. The reality is that competitive prices attract more clients looking for deals, right? Competitive prices puts you in a position to have to price match and negotiate. And then the other thing is competitive pricing doesn't attract, watch this, premium clients. The truth is competitive prices make you look just like everyone else. And higher pricing sets you apart and makes you attractive to premium clients. Therefore, higher prices attract higher quality clients who are looking for serious results. That is the truth. So the question, just to give you an illustration as far as what I'm talking about, which is, which would you rather sell? A $24,000 Honda Accord or a Maserati Ghibli at $70,000, right? Almost 3 times the price. And that is the equivalent in this illustration of a premium client, right? So what you want really in order for your business to scale, right, is you want clients that recognize and know and appreciate luxury, convenience, and high-end service, right? That's one of the things I learned from working with Charles, who's the multimillionaire that I mentioned. What you also want is clients who are attracted to quality of work performed. You want them to pay in full, on time, or consistently without you chasing them. You want them to show up and pay attention and do the work assigned to get results. In other words, be coachable, right? That's going to come up a lot in this whole thing. So the other lie that you've gotten is the more clients you have, the better your business goes, right? Well, here's the reality. The more clients you have, the more running around and managing you have to do. That's the reality. Me, not interested. But the truth, here it is. Fewer premium clients equals more focused attention you can offer for best results. Fewer premium clients equals more revenue per client. And you'll see how this folds out. Now, how would you rather sell now? Now that you've kind of thought about those premium clients, right? In your premium program, would you rather sell 3 Hondas a day, right? At $24 a day, $24,000 each, right? Per day. Again, average client. No offense if you have a Honda, right? Or would you rather sell the Maserati Ghibli, one of them, for $70,000 and have that be a day's work? Me, I'm going the premium client route. You get the idea? So if you are not going with premium clients, what you're doing is you're stressing yourself out, right? Again, illustrate it. If you have a program that's $1,000 or a consulting fee that's $1,000, right? You gotta, have 10 clients for $10,000, or sell a $5,000 consulting program or coaching program, two of them, I should say. Hang on, right? For $10,000. Again, the answer is on the right. Are you getting this? This is one of the, along with other things, one of the errors, oversights that we're making when we are building our practice. So you got to get very clear as to what you're selling. Are you selling Honda Accord, a Honda Accord program, or you're selling a Maserati program, right? If you're selling a Maserati program, you don't need to sell that many in order for you to hit your numbers. All right. So the goal and outcome of all this, this is my favorite part, is you get to stress less, get more revenue for less work, get results, and go on with your life and chill. That's all I care about, right? And I hope it's the same for you. And if it's not, it's okay. Maybe this is time, to jump off. But this is what this comes down to for me. So let's jump right into secret number 2, which is the number one customer acquisition mistake you're making that's robbing you of thousands, right? So the reason why in some cases you're not getting those thousands is because you believe some version of this lie. Get as many leads as you can handle. Here's the reality. You want as many leads, I should say, the reality is as many leads as you can handle gives you more work to do, right? I mean, I don't want to handle a whole bunch of leads. Here's the truth. If you can filter and qualify as many leads as possible with targeted content, just like I mentioned with the ad that you saw, and use automation to do the handling, that is the solution, right? And for some of you, you may not really be, may not have necessarily maybe a system in place that automates the handling of all those leads. You don't want to be handling all the tire kickers and the knuckleheads, right? The knucklehead clients, or the clients that maybe they've got a big budget, but they always give you the runaround because they just want to feel like they're the man or the woman or the whatever or the company. Look, you don't need to have that suck your life force away, right? So getting back to this marketing funnel that I mentioned a moment ago, if you are, as far as that mistake I mentioned that's costing you thousands, what you need to do is you need to be focused on a marketing funnel where all these, all these steps are automated, and all you're focusing on, right, is all for your clients to leave, right? try to do it on their own, which is fine, and you anticipate that 8% that you see right there that they're going to apply, right? And in the end, the winners show up. And this can all be automated. So how did you get here, right? So let's go back over this again. So you saw an ad, right? And you, out of thousands, read an 842 targeted word ad and then clicked to watch this webinar. And how did you qualify? Or I should say, how did you qualify and filter, right? Well, just like I mentioned, those ads are written in a particular way where the only people that should be watching this are the people who are serious, right? And then you opted into a webinar, right? Or a registration page, landing page, such as the one you see here. And in the end, there's going to be an opportunity, right? If you meet the criteria to apply to participate and be coached. And in the end, there's a selection, right? Because not everyone who applies meets the criteria, right? Because I can't and won't coach someone just because, right? They have to actually have a profile for me to identify that, yep, this is the person to coach. This is how you do it. If you don't have a system like this in place, well, your scaling probabilities are going to be slim to none. So what? Well, here's the so what. Targeted ads, just like I showed you, that lead to a presentation, just like I'm sharing with you now, that lead to someone applying automatedly, right? And in this selection, this is the so what. All I'm doing is investing in the ads in an automated setup, and that's producing an outcome on the other side as far as clients who subscribe to the solution. The question I have is your system set up like that? If it's not, then again, continue to learn and observe what it is that's going to make the difference for you. Goal and outcome of all of this, as I mentioned, is to stress less, get more revenue for less work, get results, go on with your life, and chill. That is it. If that's not your objective, I don't know what I mean, sure, you can have other objectives within this or offshoot of these, but this is all that matters to me. Let's jump right into secret number 3. All right, so that I mentioned at the beginning of this is a one-page document, Google Doc, that replaces years of fear, stress, and worry with hope, excitement, and a future of consistent revenue in your business. And so how does this work? Well, the way that it works is, so normally, if you think about how you normally do things, you write the scope of work and then you send it to a client, right? Like when they come and they approach you and say, hey, I need your help with XYZ. They, they ask for your help, and then you write a scope of work. And then you wait while they're thinking it over and discussing it with their team. And hey, can you give us till next Thursday to finish this? That's crazy. Insane. Not interested in that. Right? And as a result, what I created is a document control system, which is also a client control system. Because the last thing you need is a client driving you crazy. That's insane. And here's how this works. So there is a custom, for those who participate in the program, there's a custom, you can do some version of this as well. And you may already have something like this, but this custom document control piece is critical to your success. So you want to have a document that you create that you capture the scope of work of the project. So when a company approaches you or a client approaches you, you want to have a document that shows the scope of work, like all the things that they're telling you they need. Oh, I need an autoresponder. Oh, I'm going to need this. Oh, I'm going to need that. You want to have your document handle capturing everything that they say that they want, right? And that needs to be shared so that they see it, right? Customers don't have a reality check perspective on this stuff. That same document should have an invoice tab. Even if you use a different system for your invoicing, it should have a tab that shows them what that scope of work is going to cost them, right? Again, it must be shared. Work plan, right? That same document should also show the work plan, show the execution and the timeline. Along with that, that document should also have key links of PDFs and contracts and documents linked to it, right? They don't have to be on your drive, but they got to be linked to it, right? And then you'll notice the pattern is you just need a central place, right, where all of this information is present for you, both you and your client. And here are the benefits of this. The benefit of this is a clear way to show what's ahead, right? Because that client, sometimes they're like, oh, well, I don't know what to do next. Nope. If it's here, it gives them a clear way to see what's ahead. And here's the other killer thing. We don't chase clients for what we need. There's nothing worse than chasing a client. Hey, I'm going to need your access, to setting up this account. Or I need your email address so I can da-da-da-da. No. You can't chase clients for that. That will burn you out. That's why this document is critical. You've got to have a document where all that information is available, right? So you don't have to chase them for it. This also assists you with always, you being always clear where everything you need is. And the benefit of that is creates dual accountability and transparency of activity, right? See, when that client says, well, what you been up to, or what are you doing, and da-da-da, you need to have one place where everything they provided you, or if the project is stalled, they know exactly why it's stalled, because they didn't give you the information you needed. So you can always point them back to that same document. In the end, there's no memory loss. There's nothing worse than a client or you forgetting something, right? That client, especially when they're like, oh, I don't remember you telling me that. Oh, I didn't know you needed that. Oh, I didn't know it was going to cost that. Oh, I didn't. No memory loss. With a document, as you just saw a moment ago, like the one sheet, or it's actually a collection of tabs, but that one document containing everything is going to cover you, right, from all these ills. And what's the goal? And what's the outcome of all of that? Stress less. Get more revenue for less work. Get results. Go on with your life and chill. That's the goal. That's the outcome. So now let's jump into secret number 4. Why your business or your best customers want higher prices and how to respond, right? Okay. So the lie most people believe is customers are looking for a good deal and won't pay more right now, especially in this market, blah, 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 blah. Nonsense. The other lie, customers will leave if you raise prices. Another lie, customers want to keep costs low. Here is the reality. The reality is premium customers hate having to pay for things, but they want to invest. They want to invest in the best. And they're willing to pay for exclusive access for help, right? You can't be available all the time, right? Stop, kissing your client's butt and hoping that they love you more than the competitor. No, you're not available. You're only available for them to show up, right? To show up like they're a premium client. And they're willing to pay for exclusive access for your help. Right? So the truth is, premium clients respect superior knowledge, right? In other words, what no one has ever told them or showed them that works. That's how you get more premium buck, right? Dollar for your more bang for your buck. Now you want to show your client, show them a system that won't let them down or leave them in the dark. There's a little secret to this. Again, for those of you who participate, there's a system a few learning management systems that we choose from that allow a customer or a client to have a place that they can go to always be doing the work that you need them to do in order for things to work, right? Now, lastly, a customer will happily pay you more for your time if you make it an asset. See, Charles, as I mentioned a moment ago, his mentees ask and chase him for private time mentorship, right? Because they know, and part of it is he's given them superior knowledge about a particular subject matter that they have not gotten from somewhere else. And he's shown them the system, right, that won't let them down or leave them in the dark. And he's also demonstrated he's not available, right? He just can't be available all the time holding hands, right? And as a result, people are chasing him, right, to pay for his next premium program. And here's how that played out. So initially, he did a trial run, right, with his program where he kind of ran a marketing campaign, and a few people came on board, right, at a product that was a $500 product, right? As he was going through that process of doing presentations, it was sort of like, starting to become annoying, right? And about 2 weeks later, we increased the price. Boom. Game over. Simple. Right? And he'd already cautioned those who were at the $500 mark and who were listening to presentations between then and when the price doubled. He'd caution them. He'd say, look, the price is going to go up. Technically, the product is a $2,500 product, but you're getting it for $500, which was true, right? So when he ups it to $1,000, those who paid $500 are so appreciative, and they also are getting superior value. 3 weeks later, right, program goes to $5,000, or people actually start buying his private coaching option, right? And then what's ahead for us is the $10,000 program, which will end up becoming evolving, right, to higher tier products for $25,000, right? That's what we've done. And if you want actual proof, right, listen, here's the deal. You want to start thinking about your client's lifetime journey for life, right? So for your client to really sort of appreciate paying you more, you've got to leverage a learning management systems, right? As a university would, right? So like there's software or platforms like Kajabi or Thinkific, ClickFunnels. They all have a sort of subscription type back offices where you can actually create that experience for your clients. So you want to give them this experience that they really are being educated and supported for life and whatever it is that you're exchanging with them, right? You want to anchor client to the system as great, anchor them to knowing like the system as a great assistant, not you, right? So anchor client to system as a great assistant, not you. If you become the great assistant and not the system, you're going to create problems for yourself. So you want to coach through snags and let system do the heavy lifting, right? Let system do the heavy lifting. And what do I mean by this? So people naturally, when they're unfamiliar or whatever it might be with your whole program, they want to just leech off your time. But no, the thing is, you tell them to let the system do the work. And if they're really snagged, that's the only time you are available to do the coaching, right? So now you start to get the sense of this whole leveraging thing. So you want to start charging a premium for your time, right? That's what this comes down to, right? Because if they're going to use up your time, they have to be able to confirm whether or not they can afford to do that or not, right? Because you can't. And again, the outcome or the goal and the outcome of all of this is for you to stress less, get more done, or get more revenue for less work, get results, and go on with your life and chill. So this leaves us to the final secret, secret number 5, which is the 4-step blueprint to scaling your coaching practice for 2 to 3 times more revenue, right, than you're currently getting. And so it's time for these 4 keys to your success. And of course, you start out maybe not feeling too super about your situation, and you want to, go in a direction where you can hit the target and get happy again, right? And I want to share with you the discovery that I made, which was, the 4 steps to the chill code revenue blueprint model. And it started out with, as I mentioned, these 4 situations, right? And here are what those 4 steps are, right? In sequence. 4 steps are preparation. And we'll go over what that means. Planning. Performing. And prevailing. Right? And with prevail is really scaling as well. So I mentioned to you, one of the things that Charles and I had to do was look at the competitor and their social media footprint. Okay? And that was part of the preparation. The other thing is we had the ID, the technical requirements of duplicating all that particular situation called for. So did we need an autoresponder? Did we need a landing page? That was very, very important. And then, of course, the scope of work document, which you already have been introduced to, right? That was key in this preparation phase. Next, we went on to plan, and we had to look at and review competitors, right? So in your case, you got to review your competitor, right? And what they're doing and how they're doing it. Again, right? And you got to map out, and in reviewing competitors, the other thing is you actually have to review what all, in planning, you have to identify like what specific, like how it plans out, right? And map out the path to completion based on what you notice that they do, right? That the competitor or someone who's the equivalent of you in the niche, like just, you got to map out like what they do and map out what that looks like for you to complete it, right? That's what we'll get a chance to do with you. Building a funnel based on a map, right? So once you map that out, you got to build the funnel, right? Which is what we'll get a chance to do as well with you. And when it's time to perform, you got to run a campaign, right? So if you've got a marketing department, sure, you can do that, or I can do that, assist you with it, right? Well, we got to definitely run a marketing campaign. And then along with that, depending on whether or not you want to do it, you can do live presentations, right? For that marketing campaign, so you can really start creating some buzz and some momentum and some connection with your clients, okay, or prospects. And then you want to manage the conversions. This performance phases can't be overemphasized enough, because people will convert as a function of your engagement with them, right? And you just want to really be able to manage those conversions so that you're getting the most for your buck. It can be laborious, it can be intense, but it's worth it if you really identify what it is that's allowing people to convert. And then lastly, you want to scale your ad, right? Scale your ad spend, whatever you're spending, and you see the trends, you see the percentages, you just want to scale to spend more. You want to then start to identify based on the demand that you had from performance, right? You want to start increasing your prices, just like you saw me demonstrate and share with you a moment ago. And then you want to create ascension offers. Those ascension offers are the offers that say, hey, look, after this program, this is what's next for you, right? And without that, hey, after this program, this is what's next for you conversation, you're just going to be a sitting duck with just that one program. And once someone pays, they run off, they're done. They have nothing to ascend to. So you got to create ascension offers, right? And then lastly, you want to manage your coaching with a learning management system. Remember, I said that again. I said that before, and I'll say it again. I'm telling you, that system will change your life, right? And we're talking technology, right? There's a particular technology that we use. A couple options I mentioned to you a moment ago. And there's a way that it works to just really make life easier, right? From importing documents, videos. Again, your client will thank you for it. So here's actual proof of how this played out for us. So in my project, March was kind of like month one, right? Really not a whole lot. It was really all planning and preparation, planning, and then we got into performance, and this is what hit. And then we got into prevailing, or we got into we prepped and we planned, right, all March, and then performance, it was in April, and then prevailed was in May, right? You can see what those numbers look like, right? And it's actually more than that, but that's just based on one particular pipeline of payments. This is what it's looked like, right? So why can't this be you, right? Like, why can't that result be you, right? I think you deserve it, but I'm going to tell you why it can't be you. Here's why it can't be you. One, for some of you, I know this is some tough talk right now because we're wrapping this up. You think this is easy and that you know everything now, right? That's the reason. I know I've been there. And the other thing is, you can figure this out on your own, right? You're smart. Yeah, you can figure this out on your own. Absolutely. I've been there. I thought I could figure it out on my own too, right? For like 8, 9, 10 years, right? But I didn't figure out enough of what I wanted to figure out on my own. And some of you think you have time to figure this out. In other words, in my opinion, you haven't failed enough. Trust me, when you fail enough, you're like, oh man, I don't have time for this trial and error cycle. And then some of you, this can't be you. These results can't be you because you don't believe in yourself. And I don't. It's not to demean or condescend. It's just you just don't. Not like the version of you that's ready, that's capable of just being a lion in the marketplace. And you're not as good as you say you are, right? You're mediocre. You're so-so. Again, that's not to insult you. I get it. Look, game recognizes game. Sometimes your game is weak, and you want people to feel like it's stronger than it is, but you're not as good as you say you are. And people can sniff that. And you're uncoachable, right? Like you won't follow the instructions. You always feel like, I don't like to do it that way. I like to do it this way. Yeah, that's not being coachable. That's being uncoachable. That's why those results can't be yours, right? But it can be you, right? This can be you if you know how tricky setting all this up can be and want help, guidance, and coaching. And you need help and are willing to ask for it. The other thing is, can be you if you're tired of losing and ready to finally win, right? You got to be fed up. And the other thing is, you can afford to lose, or you can't afford to lose any more time on what doesn't work. That was so me. And this can be you if you're as good as you say you are, right? You're a superior coach or consultant or a small subject matter expert, right? You do believe in yourself, your brand, and your product 1,000%, right? And you are absolutely coachable. No reason why those results cannot be yours. So right now, you are at a turning point, right? You're at a crossroad. And there's a few directions you can go in. And the direction you can go in on one hand is the direction of the gentleman here who's just got, it's just clear. He's dealing with some stuff, right? Business is failing. Business won't grow. He's losing clients. He's got to answer to someone, maybe to of course, a corporate team, a spouse, kids who need him to step up, right? Or you can be like Charles, right? And totally knock it out the park, get the support you need, and crush it. You decide, right? You get to decide which one of these guys you want to be. So there are 3 features that await you right now. And this is a part you want to pay real major attention to. On the horizontal axis here is time, And given the situation that's going on and things that are happening in the world right now, you want to think through what your timeline is going to be for your survival and for your opportunity to thrive. The upper part of the vertical axis is success. The lower part is failure. And I'm going to tell you right now, future number one is what is going to be the case for some of you who are watching this. And I have no problem saying that because that's just how it's going to go. And the reason why you're going to end up in that future of failures is because you're indecisive. You tried harder, and then you freaked out when it didn't work, and you froze. You ran out of money and time, right? That's going to be the case. And naturally, you'll go out of business. No surprise there, right? But I don't want that to be you. I don't want that to be your future. And so some of you will end up in future number two. And that's the future of just struggling and trying to figure it out. And you know what? I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And again, if you have time, if you think you have time, that's what your future number two is going to be. And I call those the wingers. You're trying to wing it. Right? And as a winger, you struggle. You Google and YouTube search for solutions. You jump on other webinars. And you waste money trying to figure it out. And you get trialed and errored to survive. Right? That is what future two looks like for some of those who are watching this right now. And then there's future number three. And I think we all know where that's headed. Right? And future number three is you deserve to be in future number three. I don't want you to be in future number two. I don't want you to be in future number one. I want you to be in future number three. And those are what I call, just like you saw a few slides back, the winners. The winners are decisive. The winners got help they needed. They invested in themselves. They got to work right away. And they saw results and scaled. That's it. So the question I have is, which future do you have? Honestly, right? It's not the time to be shy. Really tell yourself, which future do you have? Right? Now, I know some of you think, man, I'm a winner. I'm going to go future number three. Okay, go for it. And then you'll discover you're a future number two winger. Right? I, was probably a future number two guy until I realized I didn't have time. And I decided to spend the money required to get the coaching and the mentorship and the community that I needed to make my business grow, right? And I knew what future I wanted. I wanted future number three. I got tired of the experience of future number two and future number one, right? So I hope you chose future number three, because this guy right here, he's not on the path to future number three, but this guy is. And you know what? At the end of this program, when the selection phase comes in, I get to choose who I work with. I prefer to work with the winners and the Charleses of the world. Right? That's my preference. Anyone else, it's just going to be a time suck for me. So, like I mentioned, can't help everyone. And only 2 or 3 people will make it out of about 150 after applying, right? Not all 150 will apply. To that 8 or 9 or so folks who apply or inquire, right? Only 2 or 3 people I'll work with. And the reason why, and here's just a little insight with that 2 or 3 people. Initially, some of the work that I do requires about 3 days of about 12 to 15 hour work days, right? I only want to, and that's for just at the setup phase. After that, I'm done, right? And it makes sense for me. I only want to do that with 2 or 3 clients. I don't want to do that back to back, right? It's not healthy for me, right? So from a practical perspective, it makes sense that I only work with 2 or 3 folks, if that, right? Now, but that's up to you, right? If you want to be one of those. If in some cases there's more than that, 2 or 3, they end up on a waiting list, right? And, wait list gets used. So there's help. And I want you to start now. If you want help, you can head over to apply.thechillcode.com. That's where you get an application. Fill it out right online. And along with that application is a consultation. All right. And here's the final steps of the process after you apply. So like I mentioned, you see the ads, you've been through that phase, presentation, you go through that phase, right? And here's where we are now, application phase. And after that application phase, there will be a consultation, because you'll schedule a time to actually speak with me or someone on the team about your particular business, and we'll see if we can definitely help you or not. And then after that, there's a selection. We'll see if this is a good fit, and then we move forward from there. So I want you to remember why Charles had a 5-figure a month business, all right? Or why, or how he ended up here, right? And the reason was he was fed up and couldn't stand seeing someone with less talent, qualifications, and less money beat him online. He was also clear about what he needed to do to match his peers' success and exceed their results. He was extremely coachable, and he was ready to invest in himself to get the help he needed when it was painful enough for him to move forward. If you meet the criteria that I just walked you through, then after you apply, right, and you make it to your consultation, we'll go over your business model and metrics. We'll determine if you're a good fit for the program. We'll get clear on if and how we can help. Also confirm if you're as good as you say you are. Okay? And then identify your start date, right? We're getting coaching from us. So here's what your consultation, right? If you make it through the process here and make it to the consultation phase, during your consultation conversation, just so we're clear, it's not a sales pitch session, okay? Not gonna get strong-armed or anything like that. It's also not for tire kicking. I mean, this is not some, hey, let's just see, check it out. And just so you know, it's not for asking a million questions, right? Based on your insecurities. It is not for price snooping and comparing. See what my coaching program is compared to the other coaching programs out there. Please save yourself and don't get into that, right? And it is for getting clear on what your next best steps are to win, for confirming your readiness, and getting started if you're a fit. So let's get started. Start now and apply and see what the future holds for you if everything you've heard really makes sense. So head over to apply.thechillcode.com. Like I said, you'll have an opportunity to just answer some basic questions, and schedule a consultation based on our availability, and we'll take it from there. So thanks again. Thank you for taking the time to go through this process. Hope you've got some value, got some nuggets out of this. And for those few that choose to move ahead, head over to apply.thechillcode.com.